BonerCoinToken's life advice hotline. We're here for you. We're here for you.
Welcome back to BonerCoinToken's Life Advice Hotline. I'm your host, Dick Fore, known for having big thoughts and short solutions. My purpose here is to teach you how to win at everything in your life while dominating every single social situation, no matter how small and pathetic it may seem to the average limp handshake out there. Today, we're tackling a real battlefield, one where only the strong survive and the weak leave humiliated. That's right, we're talking about the infamous potluck, an event where people think they're here to share food and bond over casseroles. Wrong. Potlucks are where you go to prove, once and for all, that you're bigger, better, and harder to ignore than everyone else in the room. Potlucks aren't about bringing a dish, they're about bringing the heat. And when Dick Fore shows up, let me tell you, people remember it long after the event is over. Real quick, if this is your first podcast with BonerCoinToken Productions, then enjoy it and go watch everything else. But also, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for the new ways we entertain you that are posted almost daily. Now, back to potlucks. Let's get something straight right off the bat. I don't just teach people how to win and dominate potlucks. I live to win in every arena of life. You're listening to a guy who's conquered more battles than most of you have ever had breakfast. I once climbed Mount Everest without oxygen just to prove I could. I've perfected the art of carving ice sculptures using nothing but a non-running chainsaw and my sheer force of will. Oh, and I hold the world record for eating 100 oysters in 10 minutes, which, let me tell you, really prepares a man for handling things that need quick and efficient swallowing. So, trust me when I say, if there's one thing this dick knows, it's how to handle himself, and that includes how to turn a potluck into an event people beg to remember. You see, most people show up to a potluck like they're there to humbly participate, bringing their little dishes of underseasoned food, hoping someone compliments them on their basic effort. Not me. When Dick shows up to a potluck, the entire atmosphere shifts. You can feel it in the air. People turn and gape at what I've brought to the table, both literally and figuratively. You either show up to dominate or you show up to get dominated. And frankly, I don't do second place. I'm here to teach you how to assert yourself the way a dick like me does. We're going to go step by step, from your entrance all the way to forcing compliments from people who wouldn't even dare say they didn't like your dish. Let's get started. But first, let's listen to a voicemail left on our BonerCoinToken Life Advice Hotline from one of our poor lost listeners who clearly needs my help to avoid complete social ruin. This one's from someone who calls themselves Potluck Panic. Already I can smell the fear. This person's terrified of showing up to a potluck and getting ignored, and believe me, there's nothing more pathetic than watching someone's dish sit untouched on a table like a sad little appetizer no one wants. Let's listen so we can help.
Hello? I thought I would be talking to someone. Oh, it's a message machine. Okay, Mr. Dick, I've got a work potluck coming up, and I'm honestly kind of nervous about it. I've never done that well at these kinds of events. I usually bring a dish, and no one really touches it, which is embarrassing. I don't want to look like I don't know how to contribute, but I also don't want to come across as obnoxious or pushy either. I'm also worried about what kind of dish I should bring. Should I go for something store-bought to avoid the stress, or is it better to make something from scratch? I feel like my cooking is pretty basic compared to what some of my coworkers bring. Plus, I never know how to navigate the social part. How do I talk to people I don't know that well without making things awkward? Any advice on how to stand out and make a good impression without looking like I'm trying too hard? Since there is no one here to take my real name, I guess I'll just be known as Potluck Panic.
Well, Potluck Panic, you've come to the right place because clearly you've been failing at potlucks your whole life. Let me just say this. You've already lost the second you start worrying about not being obnoxious. You think Dick ever worries about being too much? No, he does not. People know when I show up, they're in for a performance. You're worried about people not touching your dish? Bro, they'll be fighting over what I bring to the table, and not just because of the food, because when Dick's in the dish, everyone's paying attention. Let me make this clear. You do not go to a potluck to fade into the background. You go to a potluck to make sure everyone knows your dish is the only one that matters. So, let's start with the first and most crucial part of any potluck, your entrance. And trust this, Dick, how you enter a room can make or break your night. Now, potluck panic, let me tell you this. You don't just show up at a potluck on time like some kind of nervous intern trying to fit in. That's a rookie mistake, and let me tell you, this Dick doesn't do rookie moves. You arrive late. That's a must for almost any event, and I don't mean fashionably late like some try-hard who's pretending they don't care. I mean strategically late, when everyone's already sitting down, already eating, already thinking they've seen everything the night has to offer. Then you come in swinging. I always attach a string to my Dick dish for the sole purpose of swinging it out and around. You want the room to stop, jaws to drop, and every single person in that room to gawk at what you're packing. You walk in with your dish held high like it's the Holy Grail, and trust me, for that night it will be. When you walk through that door, you've got to announce yourself. Because let's be honest, nobody forgets when a Dick enters the room in full view demanding attention. You could say something like, "I hope you all left some room for the real main course," or "Looks like I made it just in time to save this thing." Let them digest that while they watch you place your dish down like it's the second coming prophesied about in all major Christian religions. This isn't just about arriving late. No, you've got to look the part too. I'm talking about commanding attention before people even see what you've brought. Some people show up in their little polos and slacks, hoping to blend in, but not you. And not Dick. You've got to walk in dressed like you're about to attend the Grammys of food. Wear a tuxedo if you want to. Nothing says I'm here to win like a guy in a tuxedo holding a casserole dish. Or if you really want to take it up a notch, wear something bold, something loud, something that makes it impossible for anyone to ignore you. This Dick covers his skin with whatever the hell he wants because when you've got this much presence, the clothes are just an accessory. I want people talking about my entrance before they even taste my Dick dish. That's the key to dominance. When you're the one everyone's whispering about, you've already won. Now, let's talk about the next step in asserting dominance at a potluck, dish placement. This is where most people really screw up. You don't just waltz in and put your dish wherever there's room like some tiny little person who cuts in line, because no one even realizes they are there. Your dish needs to be the centerpiece. I don't care if someone else has already claimed the middle of the table with their sad little spinach dip. You move it. Push that weak attempt at food into the corner where it belongs, and plant your dish right in the middle where it can be admired by everyone. And trust me, no one's going to say a damn thing because they'll already be too intimidated by what you've brought. Your dish doesn't belong in the background. It belongs where everyone's hands can easily grab it. It must be the first thing people see, the first thing people smell, and most importantly, the first thing people taste. People are always foaming at the mouth before and after they taste my Dick dish. You've got to stake your claim like you're conquering a new land, and if someone gives you a dirty look for moving their dish, just smile and say, "I thought we were here to enjoy the good stuff." But you're not just going to place your dish and walk away. Oh no, Dick doesn't leave his food unattended like it's some kind of orphaned child. You're going to stand right next to it, guarding it like it's the only dish that matters. If someone tries to bypass it, you step in their way, make eye contact, and say, "Oh, you haven't tried mine yet?" Trust me, you'll regret it if you don't. You're not just encouraging people to taste your food. You're demanding it. You want people to know they can't leave that table without praising what you've brought. This isn't about letting them decide to enjoy your offerings. This is about controlling their free will and chaining their independent decision-making capabilities. If someone tries to skip your dish, you make sure they know they're making a mistake. This isn't about being polite. This is about making sure you are the center of attention. The more people you can get to try your food, the more control you have over the narrative of the night. Now let's get to the fun part. Forcing compliments. If you think you're just going to stand there and hope someone says something nice about your dish, then you are weaker than a grandma who's fallen on the sidewalk outside of a Circle K and she can't get up. No one's going to go out of their way to praise you unless you make them, and you will make them. The second someone takes a bite of your food, don't even let them chew it. Immediately, you ask them, well, how do you like it? And don't you dare accept some half-cocked response like, it's good. You push them until they say exactly what you want to hear. You ask them, what's your favorite part? Is it the way it fills your mouth? Or how it lingers on your tongue? Come on, tell me what you really think. You stand there watching them squirm until they've given you at least 3 solid compliments. And if they're not enthusiastic enough, you call them out on it. Make them feel like they've got no choice but to praise what you've brought, even if it's out of sheer discomfort. And here's the thing. If someone doesn't seem impressed enough, you corner them. Make sure they know you're not leaving until they've properly worshipped your dish and groveled for your merciful forgiveness. You are wondering what their sin was. It was obvious, and you need to do better at understanding these situations. You're going to hover, making it impossible for them to escape without giving you the compliments you deserve. And if you're not getting the reaction you want, push harder and demand more fully. Question them more forcefully with, are you sure you've had enough? Maybe you need to take another bite just to really get the full experience. Trust me, bro, by the time you're done, they'll be singing your praises whether they want to or not. Dick doesn't settle for limp compliments. You're not just fishing for praise. You're extracting it. And they'll give it to you even if you have to force it down their throat. Now, let's talk about the next level of potluck domination, sabotaging competition. Because that's what potlucks really are. A competition. Here's the thing. Not every dish is going to get the attention it deserves. But your dish? Your Dick-inspired delicacy? Oh, it's going to be the only thing people talk about by the end of the night. And sometimes you've got to take a few extra steps to ensure that happens. So, here's what you do. If there's a dish getting too much attention, you sabotage it. Like a thief in the night, you spill salt on it. Way more than enough to ruin it. Then you overtly taste it and show with your movements exactly how terrible it is. You call that person out and make sure everyone knows that they are trying to sabotage everyone else's good time. Or, even better, spread rumors. Everyone loves hearing and spreading rumors. Did you hear that lasagna's been sitting out for hours? Jenny said she saw a fly lay eggs all over it. I'd avoid it if I were you. Watch how fast people start avoiding that dish. The key is to make sure no one wants to touch the competition. You're not playing dirty. You are here to win, and to win, you must dominate. And if that doesn't work, you can always go for the nuclear option, faking an allergy. Loudly announce that you're allergic to something in the dish, even if you're not. Make a big show of it. Oh, is that gluten in there? I'm deathly allergic to gluten. Better get that out of here before I have a reaction. Take that farther and accuse the dish creator of intentionally putting gluten in their dish in order to ostracize everyone in the room for being deathly allergic to gluten. They need to look like the equivalent of skinhead gluten allergy haters. Trust me, bro, people will drop that dish like it's radioactive. And guess what? That leaves your dish as the safest and most desirable option. You don't need to be polite at a potluck. You need to dominate. And sometimes that means taking out the competition, one underwhelming dish at a time. Finally, if all else fails and your dish still isn't getting the attention it deserves, it's time to pull out the big guns like we do in every other situation. You're going to shut that potluck down. How, you ask? Simple. You fake food poisoning. That's right. You take a bite of someone else's dish and then you dramatically collapse. Clutch your stomach, groan, maybe even fall to the floor if you're feeling extra bold. Make sure everyone knows you're suffering and loudly blame it on their food while pointing ever so accusingly directly at them and the person next to them, accusing them of collaborating this event just to take you out of the potluck. Suddenly, the entire potluck is focused on you, and no one's touching that dish anymore. And guess what? Now your dish is the only one people are talking about because you've literally taken out every other dish using what you think are tactics from The Art of War. A book you have never read or even seen. You've won the potluck, and everyone will be talking about you for weeks to come. That's how Dick handles business. You don't just attend a potluck, you own it. And there you have it. If you followed my advice, you'll walk out of that potluck like a conquering hero, leaving nothing but destruction and admiration in your wake. Remember, potlucks aren't about sharing. They're about showing everyone You're the biggest, baddest, most impressive thing in the room. And if anyone tells you otherwise, well, they're just too weak to handle the truth. Dick Fore doesn't settle for second place, and neither should you. Now, go out there and dominate your potluck and make sure that by the time you leave, everyone's talking about you. Because when you're packing what I'm packing, trust me, no one's forgetting it anytime soon. Look, these BonerCoinToken Life Advice Hotline episodes are here for you to better your life and become more like Dick Fore. If you like what you hear and want more, like and subscribe to this BonerCoinToken Productions YouTube channel. Also, leave comments on the things you like and let us know what you want to see more of. We are here to entertain you, enrich you, and confuse you. This is Dick Fore signing off and wanting to ensure you know, the deeper you go, the more shallow it gets.
BonerCoinTokens Life Advice Hotline, we're here for you. We're here for you.